If you are looking to get a logo created for your business, like I am, I've put together 2 videos showing you 2 different outsourcing or freelancing services that you can use to get that done. In this particular video, I'll walk you through the steps involved to get your logo created using Upwork, a company I've successfully used for logo creation a few times. And then if you're interested in checking out another option, in the next video, I'll show you how to use Fiverr for logo creation. You can watch over my shoulder in case study fashion as I show you all the steps that I take, from setting up an account, choosing a designer, questions to ask, how the process works, etc. As well as provide you with some tips that I've picked up that will hopefully save you some time and result in you getting a logo that you are proud of, that you can use on your website, business cards, social media accounts, videos, or really wherever you want. Let's do this. Welcome to Getting Your Business Logo Created using Upwork. I'm Kevin Stryker with TrueLift Digital Marketing, and this, by the way, is the logo that I had created for me using outsourcing. As I said in the first part of this video, I've used Upwork successfully for quite a few outsourcing jobs, and specifically for a few logos. And in this video, I'll show you the steps to go through to get one done for yourself. In this particular case, to get my logo done, I ended up trying Fiverr.com, not because I was dissatisfied with Upwork, but just to give another option a try. I'm recording this part of the video after actually going through the process of logo creation with Fiverr, and I can't really say that I prefer one freelancing service over the other, as I think it really comes down to the individual freelancer that you hire. Both services, in my opinion, offer a great service for getting not just your logos done, but covering a multitude of outsourcing tasks. If Upwork is a service provider that you're interested in checking out, I'll walk you through the process of how I would do that and have done in the past in this video. And if you want to consider another option, you can check out that other video as well. So let's just jump right in and start off on a typical Google search screen. I'm just going to type in upwork.com, hit enter, and let that load. Now I'll just quickly add that these freelance type companies are always merging with one another. For example, when I first started using this particular freelance service, they were called Elance, or maybe even one more name before that. I can't even remember now. But then they merged with Odesk to become Upwork. So depending on when you view this video, you may just have to Google Upwork and it will pop up options for whatever its name may currently be and just click on that. If you scroll down the page a bit, you can see the main categories that Upwork provides for freelance work, and if you want access to more categories, you can access that down here. For logo design, this is where you'll want to be in this designers and creatives category. If you scroll down a bit more, just to show you kind of how it works, you basically find a freelancer for the work that you want done. You hire, meaning that you choose a designer and agree to some amount of pay, either hourly or by the job. That freelancer then completes the work that you ask of them, and then you pay them. At the hire stage, if there is an agreed upon price as opposed to an hourly rate, Upwork, which kind of works like an agent for the freelancer or an intermediary between you and the freelancer, takes that payment from you and holds it in escrow on your behalf, and then releases it to the freelancer or contractor once both parties agree that the work is done. And then there are various levels that you can get depending on how much hiring you do inside of the platform. The first one is free, and since I don't get a ton of freelance work done, at this stage, that's where I'd go. In time, you might want to look at some of the other plans. So let's just go back up to the top for a second. If you have an account already, which I do, you can log in. If you don't, you have to sign up, and that process is easy. So I'm just going to quickly show you that by clicking on Sign Up. To get started, they just want to know which side of the fence you're on, so to speak. Are you a freelancer, or do you wish to utilize the services or hire a freelancer? In this case, I'm looking to hire a freelancer, so I'll click on Hire. You can create an account simply by using your Facebook, LinkedIn, or Google login information, or just fill in the information very quickly, depending on whether or not you're signing up on behalf of yourself or a company. And then at the bottom, you have the terms of service, user agreement, and privacy policy that you will have to check to signify your acceptance, but the form is pretty self-explanatory. I've got an account already, so I'm just going to go back a screen and sign in, and then go back one more screen to get back to the home screen. There are kind of 2 ways to get where you want to go. If you want, you can click on the Browse button, where you'll see the various category options, and inside here, the option I'd choose is the Designers and Creatives category. That's the broadest category, and then you can filter down more to get more specific on what service you want. But what I do, which I think is quicker, is I just go to the search bar and I'll just type in more specifically what I'm looking for, logo design. But before I do that, if I hit enter now, To start that search, it doesn't show me the portfolios or examples of previous work completed of the respective freelancer, which I will want to see to help me make my decisions on who to choose because of the fact that I'm not logged in. Without being logged in, the platform only operates at a limited functionality level. So before I do that search, I'm just going to log in quickly by clicking here. I'll enter my email address and password and click on Login. For you, if you were to have filled out the section to create your account, you will likely have been taken on a quick orientation of how to use the platform perhaps, but once you've gone through that, you should see a screen where you see some kind of dashboard like this. Obviously not with a work history, as you won't have one yet, but something similar to this screen where you can click on a link at the top to post a job. Now, websites are always changing their user interfaces of their sites, so don't get too worked up about not seeing exactly what is on my screen. Just follow along with the main points that I am making, as the same buttons and links will be available to you, just perhaps in a slightly different location if the user interface has changed. So like I was saying, you could click on the Post a Job button, which is similar to posting an ad on the network, to get interested parties to respond to your ad, or you can go looking for the freelancers first and even invite them to consider your job if you find someone that you're interested in having apply for your job. So rather than post a job right now, let's just go back to the search bar, now that I am logged in, and type in logo design and hit enter. This gives me a listing of various freelancers that match the category of logo design. You can then filter down further using these buttons up here. I've kind of already chosen the category that I want, logo design, but if I click on this next drop down for job success, you can filter your search down even further by job success ratings that the freelancer has received from customers after completing work for them. This is what motivates the contractor to do solid work, as the success rating helps them get more work. For me, I'm going to click on the option for at least 90% job success, which will remove those freelancers from my previous search that don't have at least a 90% job success rating. And then as far as hourly rate, that is really up to you. Like I mentioned earlier, you can negotiate a fixed rate for a service or have your freelancer complete work on an hourly basis, in which case you can choose what hourly filter you would like to see in your list of freelancers below. If you only want those $60 per hour and above, you can click on that filter option, or if your budget really only allows for those that are $10 per hour and below, you can filter using that. I'm just going to leave that filter for hourly rate wide open. But what I do want to do is just go to this advanced filters area and click on this drop down. Now there's a lot of freelancers that are just starting out, so they don't have a lot of hours yet. But for this job, I'm looking for someone that has done a reasonable amount of work on this platform so that their ranking means more. I'm just going to click on the radio button for at least 100 hours billed. It tells me that there are 2,356 contractors or freelancers within that group. There are more options you can use to filter, but I'm good for now, so I'm just going to click on Update Filters. And that will again change the list of freelancers I can choose from. If you look at these two top guys here, this top one has 98% success and 194 hours of work, and does logo design. He's done a couple of tests, he has some portfolio work that I can check out, he's from Kazakhstan, etc. This guy has 97% and 102 hours, 92% and 142 hours, 92% and 298 hours, 92% and 310 hours. This person has 1,815 hours, but only 90% success. But then look at this one at 777 hours and 100% success. Located in the United States, so we are likely in a similar time zone or not too far off, probably English speaking, although I'd have to confirm that, has something in her portfolio that I can take a look at, does logo design, graphic design, and so forth. So of the ones that I've seen so far, this contractor seems interesting to me, so I'm going to click on her profile to find out some more information. Inside their profile, you can find out a little bit more about this person. Here's kind of their story or what they're about and what they can possibly do for you. You can see their availability and standard response time. You can scroll down to see their work history and feedback. She currently has 17 jobs in progress, which is kind of interesting, gives you possibly an idea of how quickly they might be able to get something back to you if you were to hire her. If you scroll down even further, you can see all the various projects they have completed, the comments from the person that hired them, their score, and how much they charge that client, and get a sense of their standard hourly rate that they charge. You can actually click on these titles to get more details on the work performed. Here is an interesting part, their portfolio. You can break it down by the specific area of work that they do relating to what you want done. I'm looking for a logo obviously, so I'll select logo design and branding, which filters her portfolio to only show me results related to that. This gives me a sense of what kind and quality of work that they do. Here are some of the logos that this person has created for her clients. Just click next at the bottom to see more in the portfolio. Looks like she does a lot of clean design, which is what I'm looking for. Scrolling down a bit more, you can see various tests that they've performed. Typically what I look for in here is if they've been tested for English, and if so, what their score is. The reason for that is because these contractors or freelancers are from all over the world, and sometimes language can be tough to communicate exactly what you want, something to be mindful of. You can look at their employment history to get more background on them. You can look at their education they've received, which perhaps may be relevant to your selection or not. Just basically their online resume. I'll scroll back up to the top. So if you were interested in possibly hiring this person, you could invite her to a job, where she could look at the scope of your work you wanted completed, and then express if she is interested in the work or not, and likely what terms they would be willing to settle on. I have negotiated those in the past, so depending on the contractor, they may be willing to do that. Or another option is you can even just hire them right now without even considering other candidates. But let's go back to that contractor list again. And this guy looks pretty good as well. 990 hours and 98% success. So I might want to check out this guy as well to find out some more detail. Or the other way that you can go about this is to post a job and then see who comes forward as having interest in putting their hat in the ring for the work. Then out of those that step forward, you can go through a similar process of checking out their bio, success rating, hours billed, jobs completed, portfolio, etc. So if I go back up to the top and click on jobs, and then slide over to post a job and click on that, I can post a job from scratch. What kind of job are you looking to post? Either part-time short work or longer work with a dedicated freelancer. I'm just interested in having this particular job done now, so I'll click on the select option on the left. If I had a previous job done that I want done again, I can repost that job. Or I can select a category from the drop-down, and in this instance, I'd go down to Design and Creative as the broad category, and then slide over to the right onto the subcategory of Logo Design and Branding, and click on that. I then have to name the job posting, and then describe what actual work I want done. I'll quickly type in my title to briefly describe what I'm looking for. In this case, logo design, clean, professional, web-friendly, which, at least to me, kind of gives them an indication of where I will use it the most, so consider things like color, as there are certain colors that work better on the web than others, etc. Then in description, it gives you an example of what you can type there, but I'll just paste something I put together in advance in a word processor document. I'm just going to drag this down a bit so that you can see what I posted, and I'll quickly read what I wrote. Perhaps it will give you an idea of some of the things that you would like to look for as well, and then I'll break down some of the suggestions you may want in a similar job posting that you might make. I'm looking to have a logo created for my new website, TrueLift Digital Marketing, looking for something rather simple but professional in at least 2 web-friendly colors on a white background. The general theme of the site is helping business owners establish a web presence, generate leads, and automate their marketing, although that need not be reflected in the logo in any way. I would like to have the ability to place the logo in the header of a website, but also have a standalone image that can be separated from the name and stand on its own to be used for things like a favicon or in the place of a profile picture, etc. once our brand gets established. A favicon, in case you are not aware, is this little image here in the tab of your website to aid in your site branding and professionalism. And when I refer to profile picture, I'm just talking about having a brandable image in your social media or in blog comments, etc. that I would use in place of my personal image. Of course, if you want to use your personal image for branding, this would not be applicable to you. I want to have the ability to have revisions done if required. Would ultimately like a final version in PNG, AI, JPEG, etc. Looking to spend somewhere in the area of $50 to $75 or so and have work completed within a week. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks for your time. And then I can attach a file. So just to reiterate what that job posting hopefully communicates to the freelancer, I told them what my business name is, which perhaps gives them some direction for their creativity. That I wanted something simple but professional. Maybe you want something more elaborate, but this is what I'm thinking. At least 2 web-friendly colors. For me, this is important because, first off, there are some colors that simply are more web-safe, as per the informal web-safe color standard, as you can see here. I'll leave a link for this site in the description area. Some colors just naturally work better with each other, and having more than one allows for greater flexibility in branding. Say for example in a brochure or video, you may want to have a dominant color for headings and another branded color for your font color or for your subheadings or whatever. Having consistent colors in your marketing materials ties them together in the minds of your prospects, so the colors in your logo, which is where you usually take your marketing message theme colors from, is important. And also keep in mind that some colors psychologically have different subconscious sentiment attached to them, as you can see in this image here. If you want, take a screenshot of this, or I'll leave a link to this article that I got this from in the comments section of this video. Just an editing note that I want to make here. I forgot to put this in when I originally created this video, but something that you should ask for specifically in your job posting is to receive the color code for the colors used by the freelancer, either the hexadecimal code, RGB code, which stands for red, green, blue, or the CMY code, which stands for cyan, magenta, yellow, so that you know exactly what colors they used in the finished product, and you can use those colors in the rest of your marketing. Now, of course, you can ask for this after you've narrowed down your freelancer and even narrowed down your short list of logo designs, but I think the more relevant information you can put in up front makes for a smoother back and forth. Then I discussed a little bit about what my business is, again, trying to give them some direction or perhaps a jumping off point for their creativity. The specific area that I want to display my logo, in my case on a website, yours may be different, and of course, even if designed with a website in mind, it would still likely be easily applied to other marketing mediums. I mentioned the fact that I don't just want a text logo, but that I would like some form of graphic to accompany the logo that can stand alone for branding purposes. I mentioned the importance of being able to go back and forth on the design by having the ability to have revisions done. Indicated the file formats that I would like to have. They're usually standard formats that designers provide your file in, but even if you don't use that format because you don't have the supporting software, still request it, because down the road you may want to manipulate your logo in some manner or have someone else manipulate it, and having different formats gives you greater flexibility to do that. I mentioned the price range that I'm interested in paying, just trying to set expectations and be upfront on what they can expect. I indicated the turnaround time that I am looking for, and then if I want to sketch out a concept that I might have in my head, or share a screenshot of a logo that I saw of someone else's that I liked, that you don't want your freelancer to copy directly obviously, but get some perspective and inspiration from, you can attach that to your job posting. Just an idea. Going down the page a bit, what type of projects do I have? This would likely be a one-time project. It may be ongoing, but at this point I'm not too sure, so I'd just leave that at one time. Do I need more than one freelancer for this job? Just one is fine. If you scroll down, you can have your posting only displayed to specific freelancers based on rate and availability. You can pay by the hour, or you can opt for a fixed rate price, and it explains why you might want to do either here. I always try to avoid this scenario where someone might tell me it took them 20 hours when I have no way of knowing if it really only took them one, so I'm going to go with fixed rate. Then it will want to know how much your budget is. I mentioned that in the post text, but I'll just put something like $70 or so. You can select the experience level, maybe you only want those that are intermediate or considered expert, basically more money as you go up in experience. I'll just leave it as intermediate. Then you can filter further based on preferences for freelancer if you want or not. And then just hit post your job and that's it. Or if you're not ready to post your job yet, you can save the draft you created and come back later to edit it or post it. Before you post any job, you may just want to take a second look at your posting by clicking preview. Then you can see a summary of everything that you are putting in your post. And if everything is cool, then just click on post job. And that's all that's to it. You will then receive messages back from various freelancers fairly quickly. And once you get enough, you can pause your posting so that you can just go through the submissions that you've already received, or you can keep it running until you find someone that you feel will really work for you. You'll likely get quite a few submissions, so try to shortlist contenders as quickly as possible so that you don't spend too much time on it. Dig deeper into those by checking their bios, portfolios, training levels, etc. like we did earlier, and pick the one that you feel most comfortable with based on those criteria, including price, etc. Like I said earlier, the freelancer will often tell you what price they're willing to do the work for, which you can negotiate, and if you agree, when you start the job, if it is a set price, you essentially put that money into an escrow account, which is like a holding account, where the money is held by Upwork on your behalf and not released to the freelancer until you decide that the work is complete. It will walk you through all of those steps. So if you want to give Upwork a try, just post your job and you're on your way. I've used them quite a few times and I've been very happy with the service. Of course, it always comes down to the service level of the individual freelancer, but their success rating should give you some level of comfort in that area. And that's all I wanted to cover in this particular video. Like I mentioned in the introduction of this video, in the next video, I'll show you another freelancing service provider you can try as well, Fiverr.com, which in this particular instance is the freelancer that I'm going to try for my logo. If you want to check out that video now, just click on the link on your screen if you're watching this in YouTube, or in the description area of this video, you will find a link to the Getting Your Business Logo Created Using Fiverr video. Thanks for watching. If you are new here and would like to get notified when we put out new videos and tips on how to use digital marketing to get the word out about your business, just click on the subscribe button and then click on the notification bell and we'll make sure you don't miss a thing. Take care of yourself. I'll see you next time.